my opening statement. Like it or not, our laws are about to be enforced. Those who live in sanctuary cities that harbor illegals are now teed up to lose federal law enforcement funding and protection. And each and every one of you has a decision to make. Everyone in those 300-odd sanctuary counties and cities. So, what's more important to you? Would you rather protect illegals who flaunted our laws to come here and some who committed crimes while here, or law-abiding American citizens who shouldn't have to lose police protection because they happen to live in a sanctuary city? Now, if you believe in America and everything we stand for, it's time to demand an end to these criminal enclaves. In his first whirlwind week, President Trump signed an executive order directing the withholding of grant money from sanctuary cities who refuse to comply with federal immigration laws. The re-implementation of secure communities, where state and local governments share fingerprints to help actually identify undocumented immigrants, to force other countries to actually take back criminals by using leverage like withholding U.S. visas, and a new victim program for Americans who have been victimized by illegals, and now weekly statistics of Americans victimized by illegals living in sanctuary cities, and finally, an end to the Obama policy of catch and release at the border. So, you can march and you can hate and you can shame and you can demonize the 45th president. But I've got news for you. Law and order is back in the West. And namby-pamby liberal mayors like de Blasio in New York, Ed Lee in San Francisco, and Rahm Emanuel in Chicago, who say their policies simply improve relations between the immigrant community and law enforcement, are now putting American citizens in jeopardy of losing law enforcement protection. Now, I admire the kumbaya goal of community law enforcement identifying criminal activity by illegals, but it doesn't work. 32 years as a prosecutor, judge, and DA in a county of about 1 million tells me otherwise. Case in point. An illegal beat up and robbed every Friday, every payday. I never heard a word about him. I only found out about him when his illegal immigrant robber finally killed him, brutally. He was more afraid of the illegal than he was of the police. So, if you're an illegal and friends with a local cop and you don't get deported, great. But that doesn't mean that you're going to rat on another illegal. Do you really think that one illegal is going to turn in another illegal, especially when they both live in a sanctuary city? The victim knows that the criminal illegal is only going to be cut loose anyway. The sanctuary city promised not to deport him and the illegal. And an illegal smart enough to avoid apprehension to get here in the first place knows that the criminal illegal has a sanctuary haven forever. So why even have a sanctuary city in the hopes of improving relations when an illegal is more afraid of the other illegal than he is of the police, and so is never going to risk turning in another illegal who will be free to come after him? The whole thing is a farce. And by the way, for those of you who want to protect illegals and get them to cooperate with law enforcement, you don't need a blanket sanctuary city. The law is already in place. It's called a U visa. I used it as DA. If you're illegal and you want to report a crime, this is a visa that protects you and allows you and your family sanctuary from deportation. It's already the law. So in the end, sanctuary cities are safe havens for criminal aliens and not their innocent victims, legal or illegal. Juan Lopez Sanchez, deported 5 times, a career criminal, the one who killed Kate Steinle, admitted he actually came to San Francisco because it was a sanctuary city. How many parents do we have to parade in front of you to show you the loss of lives by those protected by these liberal mayors? And now, Mexico gets in the mix, and they say that a wall and a crackdown on illegal immigrants is an affront to Mexico. Really? They actually want us to have sanctuary cities. I have an idea. How about Mexico pay a tax on the billions of dollars that are sent to them by the illegals working here? Or better yet, maybe Mexico should change their laws so that if you cross their border illegally, you aren't sentenced to 10 years in jail. And what makes Mexico think they have a superior right to protect their sovereignty than we do? So enough of this benign-sounding sanctuary city nonsense that protects criminals. At what point do we stop the killings and the violence? Are you actually willing to risk it all to protect the criminal illegal? And who would you put in that spot? Who would it be okay to lose? Your son? Your mother? Or as Steinle did, his daughter Catherine, who died in his arms as she walked along the San Francisco Pier with him? And to all those mayors like de Blasio in New York, like the ones in Los Angeles and D.C., who say they won't retreat as a sanctuary city, my question to you is this. Who put you in office? Who did you take an oath to protect? Do you understand that the first order of government is the protection of its citizens, American citizens? That's your job. So you have a decision to make. Are you willing to lose law enforcement dollars that pays for the cops in your city to protect Americans in your effort to resist the deportation of criminals who are here illegally? And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page or Twitter, #Judge Jeanine.